Ugh. Hello, fans. Okay, after a brutal comedy of errors, trying to make sure all of these cameras are recording at the same time, we are running. This is the beginning of season 3. Nope. This is the beginning of season 3, episode 15. Hard to believe we've done 15 of these. Okay. Lock in for you. Welcome to the show. Episode 15, first episode of season 3. I'm here in the garage, getting funky, getting psychedelic. Today's episode is called Yellow Paper. It's going to be an exploration of mediums, mixed media. It's going to be an exploration of yellow paper itself. If I can get this fucking pack open. There we go. Now, the Creepy for Sale show has been doing a lot of weird stuff lately. I don't know if you guys noticed. Last episode was very, different and unique, and I thought it was really fun doing the whole edit on a shoot all on mini DV and then put it on VCR. I'm keeping a lot of fun techniques from that, so there's going to be a lot more tape stuff and mini DV stuff. Sorry, I have to calm down a little bit. It's hard because this is like a one-man production, so I'm doing all of the plugging shit in, coming up with ideas, rolling cameras, making sure memory cards are and everything, and you get really ADHD. Overload. It's like a big part of production is handling a lot of little problems. So once it's time for me to get on air, I'm a little hyped up, so I'm trying to slow down so I can talk to you guys. That's why the beginnings are always so manic. Nice. Water softener is doing its fucking flushing or refill or whatever. Yeah, spoiler room background noise. So, episode 15, season 3. What's the direction? What's the vision? What's the idea? Pushing the limit, thinking outside the box. That's where I want to go. I've been reading a lot of Doom Patrol lately. First, obviously, Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol, and then I've been reading Gerard Way's Doom Patrol, his run with Nick Darrington in 2016 when he started Young Animal. Before that went Belly Up, obviously. And they're so different, but they are both just so unique and weird and boundary pushing for the conventions of comic books at the time. And I granted this is not a comic book, it's a web series, but I just really want to embrace the strange and the psychedelic and the weird. And that's sort of the goal of it this new season. This season's going to be about exploring the more colorful and bizarre and surreal and psychedelic nature of my art form, and hopefully there's still going to be a lot of creepiness in there, but the first couple seasons are obviously very horror influenced, and I still love horror, but I think for these next couple episodes, this next batch, I'm going to focus more on the art and focus more on the surreal and the abstract, and really embrace fun ideas, fun thinking, stuff like that. I think the main takeaway that I've gotten from doing this show is that no matter how many people watch it, no matter how many people, whoa, this water softening cycle is distracting as shit. You guys can't really hear it because of the great quality of the Chinese spy mics, these DJI mics. But it's very distracting. Keep losing my train of thought. Basically, my comedy has taken me into the more mainstream side of my creative and entertainment brain, which I think is really good because that's how you get laughs, that's how you get people like you and shit. But I want this show to be, that's what I was saying, I want this show to be about what I like and what I want to explore creatively and artistically. And if it doesn't lead to like massive views or huge monetary success, I'm not gonna get discouraged. I'm just gonna keep pushing ahead, because at the end of the day, this is going to be like a journal or a diary of my creative endeavors. And the more I succeed, hopefully the more people watch it. But at the end of the day, if I end up getting to work on really cool projects in the future, and you see a technique or something, you trace it back to the show where it's like, oh, I remember when he was working with paper, and I remember when he was making paper puppets, or he was butching the fucking crazy analog asylum textures. I see that in this render or print or whatever you want to call it. Oh. That's the new motivation. I think like beginning of season 2 in Blue Jacket, I was in here ranting and raving about people not watching and being really like keyed in on what being myself, and I think I stuck to that pretty good in this last season. A lot of interesting takes. The Doom Scroll episode is really like, I was doing a lot of shorts, and I thought it'd be funny for fun. It'd be funny. I thought it'd be interesting to make like a whole doom scroll episode where there was like this dark, corrupted narrative. But if I'm being honest, I should have put more time and effort into articulating that narrative. But I think it came out okay. This last episode, Mini DB had a really strong concept. Gemini season was kind of a check-in. Kind of just like checking in with you guys about a bunch of stuff I'm working on. So that's sort of like how we wrapped up season 2. Sort of solidifying my projects that I'm working on, commitment to those projects. Anyway, I just wanted to check in with you guys initially. Start talking about the yellow paper and the concept and all that. I think I've been making a lot of like flyers and street art and stuff, and my creepy for sale quote unquote brand, whatever you want to call it. You should talk about it like that, but was always like that yellow smiley face guy. And the yellow and black I think just like suits my creepy Halloween aesthetic, reminds me of the Misfits. So I've been printing a lot of stuff on yellow paper. I've been having a lot of yellow paper scraps. I've just been like really consumed with yellow paper recently. So I really wanted to explore the medium of paper, the medium of things you can do with paper, whether it's making a puppet out of them and making the 3D monster, as you'll see in a little short I'm going to make, or that I'm working on, whether that's making a zine, which is another thing I'm going to talk to you about inside, because I'm hot as shit in here and I can barely take it. I'm hopeful. You know, this isn't. I think in the past I've tried to force a little bit of like, man, again, oh yeah, dude, I'm gonna fucking, this guy's, I'm gonna talk shit on this guy and be rowdy about that. And, but I mean, I'm having a hard time mustering up the effort to be something I'm not. So I think maybe that's another part of season 3 will be a lot more realistic and realness coming straight from me, the creative person making stuff. Not in a bummer way, but like, there's no reason for me to yell at you or try to trick you into being happy while you watch the show. You should be engaged. It should be interesting. Hopefully the way that I shot this is interesting, even though you're finding what I'm talking about to be boring and lame. So I'm going to embrace creativity. I'm going to embrace uniqueness, and we're going to stop worrying about what I'm supposed to be doing or how YouTube works or the algorithm or any of that. And I know that we probably had conversations like this before, you, the audience, but I don't care anymore. Like I genuinely enjoy doing this show, and I'm gonna keep doing it the way I want to. And maybe every week it's not gonna be 30 minutes. Maybe every week is not gonna be hilarious. Maybe every week's not gonna be a banger, or every other week I should say. But like, I've done 15. Like this is the 15th episode. I'm proud of each one. I think it's a really cool diary of my creative process, like I've said. So Yeah, maybe they're not going to be as manic and desperate for attention, but I think they're still going to be good. So, with that, let's go to our next segment. C'est la vie. I think I'm going to take a little spin around, and when I come back, well, I lost the joint. That's my cue. See you. In a event that will shock nobody, I fucked up and didn't check how much time I had on the SD card. I just recorded a really long, rambling, stupid version of this, but it's good, okay? Because we're gonna do this again. I got a refill on my Dat Pepsi. We're gonna fucking actually go through this concisely and quickly because I've already spent a lot of time trying to do this, and I clip this in here. So, what is the? Let me get a nice crisp. That's probably annoying to a lot of people. Okay, so stupid. This is stupid. So much for crisp and concise. Zine Center. Zines. What are they? Zines are like DIY magazines. They have a history in the punk movement, in the social justice, political activism movement, in the hand-drawn pornography movement. The early 60s, I don't know when they started doing that. Our Crumb probably had some sick-ass zines. Look up Our Crumb, kids. Don't, if you actually are a child. So zines are just basically like homemade magazines, homemade little flyers, publications, pamphlets. There's something I really fell in love with when I first figured out how I could make one out of one sheet of paper or 2 sheets, or, you know, I get fixated on stuff, as you guys can tell from the episodes of the show. I get fixated on learning how to do something and then throwing it away the second I know how to do it. So yeah, I made a couple. Every time I finished one, and I would show my wife, whose office I'm in right now, thank you, baby, there was sort of like a letdown because I feel like I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was trying to be a comic book person, or I was trying to get people to notice me, and this last go around I made of these, I was like, what if I just do a business card, and every page will just be like a little picture and a QR code, and then I'll hand them out, and people will scan all the QR codes, and I'll get followers, and that was one of many, I think, things that didn't work out that have opened my eyes to like how I need to start approaching creativity. I talked about in the intro, that really long, stupid intro, that I wasn't doing my creative endeavors for the right reasons. And I think that the last zine I did with all the QR codes and stuff is a perfect example of me trying to get attention that wasn't earned, trying to get people to take time out of their day to follow me or to engage with my work, but why? I wasn't really giving them a reason to. So that brought me to sort of, what would give them a reason to keep up with my work or be interested in what I'm doing. And the big thing that I kind of came up with was
being creative for art, for my own artistic curiosity and pursuit and merit. You know, when I was a kid, I didn't come up with stories or pretend to be in DC Comics because I thought I was going to be famous, or I thought I was going to get followers, or I thought it would be a career path for me or whatever. I did it because I just loved making stuff. I loved being weird. I loved coming up with stories. I loved having a vivid imagination. And that pursuit of exploring my own imagination, I think, is worth doing for myself, and sharing it with everyone, I think, is a valuable endeavor. And if at the end of it you feel the need to look into more stuff I'm making, or even just be excited for the next one, either way, I think that's a huge win, because at the end of the day, I don't think it matters if you go subscribe to my website, if you buy things I make. I think what really matters is that more creativity, more art, more humanity is explored through entertainment and media consumption. It sounds really lame and lofty, considering I spend a lot of time in dive bars telling dick jokes and weird, fucked up blue humor. But I do really enjoy things that make you think. A lot of my recent writing and creative pursuits have been deeply inspired, like I said, with Vertigo Comics, and DC. You know, DC is really strange stuff because I identify with it. I like it a lot. I love exploring mythologies made by modern writers and exploring the new medium of gods, which is, you know, superheroes and superpowered people. So, now that I've established my lofty intentions, let's get down to what I'm actually making. What I'm actually making are little self-contained short stories contained in this yellow folded piece of paper. It's known by the writer as the Fold, and I'm hoping it'll be known amongst people as the Yellow Fold, but I don't want to George Costanza myself and, you know, put the nickname out there only for people to call it like the Piss Fold or the Mustard Fold. So it's called the Fold, and it is yellow. Ideally, they'll all be printed on yellow paper, at least the ones you get from me. They will be short stories from the perspective of journalist, writer, and six-dimensional traveler C.F. Scott. He's an occultist and all-around strange person. He's sort of my alter ego, or nom de plume, or how I would like to imagine I would approach this world and universe. Obviously, self-insert characters are lame as shit, and saying that even makes it seem like, well, this is just a self-insert. It's like, oh, well, a certain extent. I mean, this is the medium for which I am like expressing my short stories and creativity. So to that end, C.F. Scott is sort of the narrator, writer, the point of view into these stories. However, each story is going to contain completely different content and structure, and it's all going to be totally fluid and open for me to play with. This first one I wrote sort of like a little short about playing with the idea of the portrait of Dorian Gray and living paintings and stuff like that. So I think it came out pretty cool. I like the story a lot. Kind of like chopping together the last of the art for it, but when I'm done for this entire month, I will be carrying the Fold on me, issue 1. You just come up to ask me for one, and I will give it to you. And not only that, I'm going to try to leave them in fun little places around the city that I frequent, and if I see that people are taking them, I will keep refilling them, and hopefully, before you know it, every reader's paradise, every reader's sanctuary will be full of issues of the Fold, both past and new, and hopefully this cool little endeavor will be a way to add more strange literary fun to the city of San Antonio. It sounds stupid, but I don't know. Ideally, if this were to succeed wildly, my dream scenario would be that people all around the city are reading these zines and demanding more strangeness in their lives and trying to look at things differently. Worst case scenario, they throw them away, which is way more likely to happen. But you know what? I don't care. Either way, I'm happy to make them. I'm happy to just put my creative brain out into the world in the form of a yellow folded sheet of paper. So that's what's happening. That's been Zine Zone. That is The Fold, the brand new zine coming to you very soon. I'm kind of happy I have this. As you can see, I have the whole story here printed. This was a template that I was working on, so I could see where the art would go and how big the art had to be, and how many pictures I was going to be able to fit into it with all the story therein. So it's like, look, 5 pages of story, and it's not even a full page. It's like 5 Instagram stories worth. So not a whole lot of reading, but I liked it. I liked the way it came out. So The Fold will be coming to you. More info on C.F. Scott and all of his kooky, wild backstory and endeavors of how he got to the 6th dimension, how he got his abilities to see the unseen. I'll explore all of that in future issues. I'll explore all of that in more Zine Zone episodes. This has sort of been like an update on more creative stuff I'm working on. I know I do this a lot in these episodes. I'm like, it's the video game update corner, it's this update corner, but practicing writing and writing stuff like this, I think, is actually very helpful for me to get out of my own head and be productive without overloading what's realistic for me to accomplish. Not to say the game is dead, not to say any of the other projects are dead, it's just, they take a long time. They're really hard things to do, and I'm doing them by myself, so yeah, that's been the Zine Zone. I hope you enjoy it. I will see you later when... No, am I going to see them later? I guess you'll see me in the intro, or the outro. Kind of a long intro this week. I'll probably chop it up. If you're hearing this, it means I didn't. Or I guess I did, but then I left this in for context of why the intro was choppy, maybe. That makes sense. Alright, guys. I gotta clean this shit up. Cannot leave the office like this for my wife, or she's going to kill me. Also, look at my buildings. Look at my little yellow paper buildings. These are for another project I'm doing for this episode. Damn, it's Sunday night, and I still have like 3 things left to film and edit and put together, so I don't know why I'm dragging this out. Maybe to fill time, maybe because if I keep recording, I don't have to edit. Either way, I'm ending it here. So, I'll see you later, guys. Shout out.
Whoa! Whoa! Whew. I'm here at the end of the episode. Here's the outro. Not much to say. Hope you guys enjoy the show. If you guys want a copy of my zine, let me know. DM me. Come see me do stand-up. I'll have them on me at all times. If you want to support the show, you can sign up to Club Creep at creepypast.com. It's like my version of Patreon. I have no idea how often things will be updated there. It's mostly so people can support me and support this show. That's it. Love you guys. Come see me do stand-up. Follow Creepy for Sale on Instagram and Ray_does_comedy for my dates or any sort of updates about, if I'm live at the Riot or whatever. I'm not gonna lie to you, most of my spots are only gonna be 5 minutes, but I guarantee you won't be disappointed in the other comedians. So please check me out if you see me on a bill. Like and subscribe if you haven't. If this is the first time watching an episode and you're like, who's this sweaty guy in his garage? I appreciate you watching the whole episode. I really appreciate that. Check out some of the older episodes. That's been episode 15, guys. Yellow Paper.